Hi everyone, it's Gail here with the Ignite Show live at 5 Mondays and Thursdays. So we're here Monday, it's the start of the week. And I was on holiday, not last week, but the week before. So that when I did this Monday last week, it was kind of at the start of a busy catch-up week. But today has been a little bit less stressful. I'm still feeling like I've got loads to do, but at least I'm not in the middle of catching up on everything, so that makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to go over here into my other screen.
Like I've got loads to do.
And
At least I
do that. And let's see who is around that I can invite to watch, because I've just figured out how to do this. I've just figured out how I can invite people to join me. So I'm just going to do that quickly and see if I can get some people to come on with me now. Let's see who is around. Invite. Quite a few people actually I've been able to invite. So whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know, but someone is watching me live. It's Sheila. Hi Sheila, how are you? I had to look at that on my other screen because it doesn't tell me on here who is actually watching me. It just tells me when I'm looking at my screen this way, it just tells me how many people are watching live. When I look at my screen that way, I can usually see who is actually on. So give me a little comment. So say if you are watching me live, just let me know that you're here. Say hi and let me know how you are. Let me know how you are, where you are, who you are. And then I get to know who is actually watching me, because otherwise it's like people are lurking and I'm not actually sure. But today I am, let me invite anybody else, does that know? So today I am going to be talking about the radical act, right? Now, this is something that, let me just hit done there so you can see what else is going on over there. So this is something that I sat with for a whole weekend. So when I was training to be a coach, here's a bit all over the place. I'm finally getting my hair cut on Saturday. Yay, I can't believe how long my hair has got. Look how long it is. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get cut off though. Husband wants me to keep it long. He likes long hair, and I'm like, don't know, it's getting a bit straggly, so definitely getting a cut. But anyway, so one of the things that when I was learning, something weird going on with it now, it's difficult looking at a mirror image. When I was learning to be a coach, I spent a whole weekend at one point sitting with a question and really thinking long and hard and digging deep and really trying to oh, Nadia's on. Hi Nadia, how are you? Nadia is on, saying hi, but waiting for a call from someone, so we have to drop off. No problem. How are you? You were on holiday last week, Nadia. How was your holiday? Or were you on holiday for 2 weeks? Can't remember actually now, but how was it? Are you rested? Are you rested, rejuvenated, raring to go? There's 3 R's for you. Rested, rejuvenated, and raring. Is that you now? So so I spent a whole weekend sitting with a question that I'm going to share with you now. And so the question, and this question actually changed my life, literally. So this question changed my life. And the question was, and this is something that you get to do in my Ignite program as well. So the question was, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And so I'm just going to put that question out there just now. Like, what would you do? Let me put that little comment on there from Nadia. I'm on, but waiting for a call from someone, so may have to drop off. And great hauls, just a week. Who knew how great the East Nuke was? And yes, achieved the 3 R's. Yay, fantastic. That's amazing. I love that. And I've spent a bit of time in the East Nuke actually, in Crail. Really, really enjoyed my time up there. Go on a game show. Whoa. Go on a game show. Wow, Nadia. I can imagine you being on a game show. What game show would you go on? Tell me what game show are you dying to go on? I've got a couple of friends who've been on game shows. So I know somebody who has been on Blind Date, right? It's Blind Date with Cilla Black. And I also know someone who has been on Countdown and Pointless. So those are the 3 shows. So Blind Date, Countdown, and Pointless. So there you go. I see Pamela Dunlop has joined. Hello, Pam. How are you? Drop me a little comment if you are actually watching live. You might have dropped off by now, I'm not sure. But so tell me, Nadia. So you're saying it needs to be quiz or question related, right? Okay. So tell me, like, what is it about being on a game show or going on a game show that lights you up? Like, what is it about that makes you think, oh, if I knew I couldn't fail, I'd love to do that, or I would do that if I knew I couldn't fail. Like, tell me more about that, because that is not what I was expecting. So that's a bit of a surprise. Oh, here they are. So millionaire, chaser. So chaser or similar. Is that the chase? My mum and dad watch the chase. So when I'm at my mum and dad's, they have that on, and it always seems to be the same. What do you call the guy? Is it the guy or woman? Is that what you call it? The chaser. The chaser. Yeah, the chase. So you got the chaser, don't you? Who know all the answers. Well, they just seem to, they always get the answers right. Don't want to leave too much to chance, right? Okay, so you want to be in with a shot of getting it right and winning all the dosh, Nadia, by the sense of things. So tell me, Nadia, what is it about doing that? Like, what would light you up about that? Because the thing for me was, when I sat with that question, so what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What are you saying now? Winning, of course. Winning, of course. Seriously, I shout at the TV so much. My family say I should do. Yes, Chase, I love getting questions right. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what it is about getting questions right that you love, Nadia. So there's a winning thing in there for you, right? So there's getting that sense of achievement. All right, okay. So, however, could not cope with the failure if I got a question wrong. What does that tell you, Nadia? So lots of stuff in that. Really curious about that. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Something you really want to do, but couldn't cope with the failure if I got a question wrong. So there's there's a few things in that. One is it helps me understand what lights you up. So there's something for you in winning, and I wonder if you brought more of that into your life, what would be different about giving yourself the opportunity to win more regularly, right? What would that look like? And what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, and the failure piece of it. I mean, that just suggests to me. Sorry, my sister was texting me there. That just suggests to me that it is something that you would really like to do, because the more that we want something, the more important it is to us, the more fear there is around it, right? Because usually our greatest desires are also our greatest source of fear, because it means a lot to us, right? It really means a lot to us. And so for me, when I was sitting with this question, so what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? So this is going back. I should use this question on myself actually a bit more, because it is really powerful, and it's amazing how much it opens up possibility and just a different way of thinking, and it helps you to really understand, well, what is important to me, what really matters to me. And so when I sat with this is going back to probably, when would this have been? 2015, I think, 2015-ish, when I'm still working for Adobe. And I was doing my coach training, so I wasn't even doing certification yet. It's because I'm a fully certified coach. But this was when I was still just training. And so when you're training to be a coach, you go through So all the things that I do with my clients, all the things that I work on with my clients, I do them on myself, right? I've done them all, So if you end up, if you work with me and ask you to do something, never ask people to do anything that I've not done myself. And so this was something that came up in our training. This powerful question: what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And so at the time, I was still working for Adobe, still a director, running the customer care organization for Adobe, and really interested in coaching, but not really sure where I was going to go with it. Like I knew it was something that I really wanted to do, but wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it at that point. And what I realized was, so when I sat with that question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? When I sat with that, what I realized was, actually, so sitting with that question is what made me realize that I didn't want to work for Adobe anymore. So I didn't want to work for Adobe anymore, and I wanted to set up my own business, and I wanted to do this work because I knew it really lit me up. It energized me, whenever I did work with clients. So at that point, I had practice clients. They weren't really real clients. I was practicing on people that were brave enough, brave enough to be coached by someone who was still learning. But every time I did that, no matter how tired I was, because when I was doing the training, I was still working full time, and then I was going down to London at weekends to do on a monthly basis to learn all the stuff that I needed to learn to be a coach. And so then when I was doing that, I was also then coaching in the evening. So I'd be training all day and then coaching in the evening as well. And when you've been learning all day, and then you then need to apply what you've been learning in the evening, it's tiring, right? It's really tiring. However, what I found was, even when I was tired, at the start of a coaching session, by the end of it, I would be lit up and really energized and, be feeling great. So anyway, so I knew this was something that I really, loved doing, but it was sitting with that question. So what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And I really grappled with it. I think that is the right word, really grappled with it, because I was very slowly coming to the realization that if I knew I couldn't fail, I would leave Adobe, I would set up my own business, and it would be an amazing success, right? But at the time, I did work for Adobe, and I was well paid, very comfortable, senior, lots of responsibility, lots of nice stuff that goes with that as well. So I had a very comfortable lifestyle, and this was like a leap into the unknown, like a leap of faith, right? And it took me, so even though when I sat with this question, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail, and I'd figured out, I'd leave Adobe and do all that, it still took me a long time to actually pull the trigger on it and make it happen, because it was such a big thing. It was such a big move for me, filled with risk, filled with fear, and the sort of deliberation that went into that, and like conversations with my husband as well, like, should I do this, should I not do it, what are the implications, what will it mean financially, like that was actually really the big thing was, but what will it mean financially, and can I make a success of it, would anybody, right, would anybody actually pay me, would anybody, Nadia saying, really understand where you're coming from, Gail, would anybody ever even pay me? First of all, would they pay me to coach them? Second of all, would they pay me enough, right? Would they pay me enough to for me to be able to to make a go of it, to actually make a business out of it and earn enough money, just to survive to start with, but then hopefully to be comfortable again, because my goal was never to leave Adobe and be poor for the rest of my life, right? That is not me, because I do like my comforts, I have to say. So it was a really big decision, and I think, even though I knew in my heart, I knew in my body, I knew in my stomach, like I knew I really wanted to do it, and the more that I didn't do it, the more I was realizing as well how much I wanted to do it. That was the thing, because once you figure this out, like once you figure out what you really want, what really lights you up, and what you really want to go after, what you're longing for, what you're drawn to, the more you then don't do it, like the harder it gets to stay where you are. Because, I very much at that point felt like, well, I've got one foot firmly planted and rooted in what I do at Adobe and all the benefits that come with that. But then I had this other foot, right, firmly outside of that, like firmly outside of that. And so then, I was kind of in, torn between, these two places. One was comfortable, one was full of risk, but oh my God, did it look really great over there, right? That was the thing. And the more I worked on this and the more I sat with this question and the more I got deeply curious about what was coming up for me with this question, and also as I was being coached around this question as well, what was becoming apparent was, I felt like I was trapped in this sort of steel vault. This was the sort of image that came up for me. I felt like I was trapped in a steel vault, so really, cold. It was not dark, bright, but it was really cold, and it was, enclosing me. And the other thing that I have learned about myself by going through in these sorts of processes myself, working on my own stuff in terms of what matters most to me, what's my purpose, what impact I want to have, all of that. A big thing for me when I look at my values is freedom, right? So a huge value for me is freedom, and never really understood that about myself until I went on my own coaching journey. And now so many things make sense to me because I understand that about myself. So I understand that freedom is really important to me. I now know why. Right. I now know why sometimes when I was working for other people, I'm like, couldn't really figure out like what's annoying me about this person? Like what's going on here? Why am I feeling, like I'm in conflict? I didn't understand. But I do now because freedom is a huge value for me, and working for somebody else wasn't allowing me to honor that value. And now I honor that value every day. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with risk and that it's not scary, but a few years down the line, right? I mean, I it's easier looking back with rose-tinted glasses, right? Because, I'm now at a point in my business where I am more successful. There's still more to come, but I am at least surviving and starting to thrive in my business, I would say. So I feel like it has been worth it. And apart from anything else, I love what I do. Like I love what I do. Every day I get up and I look forward to working with my amazing clients. I mean, I have some amazing people that I work with. Nadia is one of them, one of my amazing people. And, they inspire me, they light me up, they energize me, and it's just an amazing place to be. And had I not sat with that question, right, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail, and really explored what was surfacing from exploring that question and really got curious about it, I could have missed out on all of that. And when I think about where I am now, what I'm doing now, the fun that I'm having now, the freedom that I've got now, yes, it can be stressful. Yes, it can be overwhelming. But it's sort of overwhelming and stressful in a good way, because I'm doing work that is really powerful and has an impact on people and really makes a difference, really makes a difference to the people that are in my world and working with me. And had it not been for that question, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know, would I still be here? Would I still be doing this? Would the outcome have been different? I guess I'll never know. But what I do know is that question, so what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail, played a massive part in changing everything for me, changing absolutely everything for me. So that's my thing for today. So that is the question for you. So what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So Nadia is going to go on a TV quiz show. And so Nadia, here, I don't know if you're still on, but here's the question for you. So will you do it? Will you do it? Will you apply for one? And what one will it be? Can't wait to see what your answer is. And if you are watching this on replay, I would love to know what that is for you. So if you're watching this on replay, #replay, let me know, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And more importantly, as you think about that question, as you get curious about it, what opens up for you, what becomes possible, what are you noticing, right? Because that's really at the heart of this. It's not just about answering that question specifically, but it's the journey and the discovery and, you know, what surfaces as a result. That is the thing. So would love to hear that. Nadia saying, lol, not there yet. Maybe when I retire. Nadia, no. No. Because what do we know about fulfillment, Nadia, right? So you know this stuff. What do we know about fulfillment? Because fulfillment is not a destination, right? Fulfillment, right? To be fulfilled is about being fulfilled here and now, right now, today. Not when you retire, not when you earn more money, not when you get a better job, not when the kids leave home, like whatever, right? It's about what would it take for me to be fulfilled right now? So there's another question, right? So what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And what would it take for me to be fulfilled right now? There you go. What would it take for me to be fulfilled right now? Okay, I am going to leave you to ponder that, right? I'm going to leave you to ponder that, but do let me know what comes up for you as you explore that question. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, and can't wait to see what you say. Thank you so much for watching me and tuning in. Thanks for your comments. Nadia, thank you for playing along with me. Really appreciate that. And I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.